Israel attacks Iran. Operation Rising Lion begins. Israel has launched an attack on Iran, a country known for targeting Israel through its proxies. This time, Iran, which is also considered enemy number one by the US, has been directly targeted under Operation Rising Lion, but Iran holds a powerful weapon, water, that could impact not just Israel, but all of Asia. We are talking about the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical waterways in the world. Over 3,000 commercial ships carrying oil and natural gas from Gulf countries pass through here every month. And Iran controls this water. You've probably heard the prediction. World War III will begin over water. That may not be far from the truth now. The Israel-Iran conflict is not like the Russia-Ukraine war. And it's definitely not like the war against Hamas. This war is serious. And it could very well trigger World War III. But surprisingly, the biggest beneficiary of this war might be none other than our favorite country, Pakistan. How? Watch this video till the end to understand. Around the world, countless events happen every day, but we go beyond the headlines, analyzing how these global shifts affect your wallet and your world. So if you love such deep, insightful analysis, hit that subscribe button. It's a small step for you, but a big step toward being smarter and more aware of the world around you. Chapter 1, Israel versus Iran. Could this be the start of World War III? Why do I say this? When Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launched Operation Rising Lion, he told his people, be prepared for a long war. In other words, de-escalation isn't even part of the agenda anymore. What's happening now isn't just a warning, this war has already begun. Instead of political speeches, both countries are now echoing with sirens. Let's first understand what exactly happened and why. Netanyahu has often referred to Iran as the head of the octopus, with its tentacles being militant proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, which continuously target Israel. While Israel is known for its aggressive stance, this time it did something unprecedented: a direct attack on Iran. On June 13, Israel launched strikes on Iran's nuclear infrastructure, destroyed its vital oil and gas reserves, and assassinated key nuclear scientists and military leaders, allegedly through Mossad, Israel's elite intelligence agency. This is serious. Iran has long funded and supported proxy wars against Israel through Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. And now that same Iran is getting directly involved. Iran isn't the kind to sit quietly. In response, Iran launched Operation Severe Punishment. What did Iran do in return? It rained ballistic and hypersonic missiles on Israeli cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Even the Iron Dome couldn't intercept all of them. Both nations are now openly targeting each other's capital cities. Hundreds have already died. But the question is, why did Israel attack in the first place? According to Israeli intelligence, Iran's secret nuclear program had reached its final stages, the threat Israel couldn't ignore. If true, Iran could now possess nuclear weapons. Between June the 14th and 15th, the conflict escalated violently. On Saturday night, Israeli drones struck South Pars, Iran's largest gas field, causing massive fires in nearby refineries. As a result, Iran had to halt production at one of the world's biggest energy facilities. Iran's petroleum ministry confirmed that strategic fuel storage sites, such as Shahran, were destroyed by Israeli strikes. Never before has Israel targeted Iran's energy infrastructure this directly. Iran didn't directly target infrastructure, but it made one thing clear: oil will be avenged with oil. In response, Iran launched an attack on Israel's Haifa Bay oil refinery. Israel replied with a stark warning. The next strike will hit Iran's economy directly. On June 16th and 17th, Israel alerted its citizens to be prepared for rocket attacks from Iran. Israeli homes are often built with bunkers, where people can take shelter during war, but Iran did something no one saw coming. Iran began jamming GPS systems of ships near the Strait of Hormuz, making it nearly impossible for vessels to navigate safely. If Israel is going after Iran's economy, Iran seems ready to sink the global economy in return. That's how serious the Strait of Hormuz situation is. It's so critical that Donald Trump left the G7 summit midway and rushed back to Washington, D.C. He even issued a chilling warning: evacuate Tehran. So, is America preparing to get directly involved in this war? I believe the answer is yes.at. The start of this video, I made a big claim this could be the beginning of World War III, but remember, a war only becomes a world war when the great powers get involved. Today, the world has one superpower, America, and one rising power, China. Chapter 2, Israel versus China. As usual, America is playing a double game. It claimed it had no involvement in Israel's strike on Iran, but later admitted it had prior knowledge of the attack. So, what are you saying, Mr. Trump? You knew about it and gave a green light. What happened to world peace? Trump himself said both sides should make a deal, but sometimes they need to fight it out first. Let's be clear, this is not a playground fight over toys. These are two nuclear-armed nations and they are willing to go to any extent to destroy each other, naturally. The US is backing Israel. It has already deployed 2 aircraft carriers, USS Harry S. Truman and USS Carl Vinson, into the Gulf region, bringing the conflict to the heart of West Asia. KC-135 and KC-46 refueling aircraft are now on standby, ready to refuel fighter jets mid-air. Meanwhile, US Navy destroyers have been repositioned in the Mediterranean Sea, enhancing Israel's missile defense systems even further. In simple terms, America has started treating this war as its own, and every move reflects that America is ready. Recently, something major happened. Houthi rebels in Yemen managed to destroy a US F-18 Super Hornet jet. These are the same Houthis, a proxy group backed by Iran after intervention from Oman and Iran. The direct clash between America and the Houthis came to a halt. In short, even a small rebel group was able to challenge the United States. Trump has never convincingly won anything on his own. Since becoming president, he hasn't achieved a single successful victory. Neither could he stop the Russia-Ukraine war, nor could he bring China to its knees through the trade war. Now Trump is desperate for a win at any cost. And targeting the Middle East has always been America's favorite hobby. So yes, the US will get involved. On the other side, China won't stay silent either. China has already picked its side. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has said that such a massive attack on Iran is unacceptable and a violation of international law. China wants to use this situation to increase its global influence. Beijing wants to position itself as a mediator. China's interest lies in stopping the war, because if war breaks out, China will be hit hard. Despite having everything, there is one thing China lacks: oil. China is the world's largest oil importer. It imports goods worth billions from Iran and exports goods worth $88 million to Iran. In fact, China is Iran's biggest trading partner, and Iran is essential for China's energy security. In 2021, China promised a $400 billion investment in Iran, and they signed a 25-year political, strategic, and economic partnership deal. What's happening now is that a new group has emerged: Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran, challenging Western powers. It's being called the axis of upheaval. But this axis is not yet powerful enough. They are not ready for an all-out war. They are still looking for more partners. 2 years ago, China played peacemaker between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now, China will surely attempt the same with Israel. But remember, if China joins a war, it will do so on its own terms, only when it's ready. And right now, China is not ready. So the ball is in America's court. If the US directly enters this conflict, China will be forced to respond, and the reason will be water. Chapter 3, World War Water. Whenever we hear this, we think it's about drinking water or river water. But 70% of the Earth is water, and 80% of global trade happens via sea routes. No one thought that a world war could start by choking these trade routes. Let's focus on the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point you may never have heard of, but one that affects all of us. Around 20% of the world's total oil consumption, about 18 to 19 million barrels per day, passes through this narrow strait. Iran has already started threatening to block this strait, and the impact will shake the entire Middle East. They've even begun jamming the GPS of commercial ships.
लाइक करें।